What's up everybody, we're back with another video, and today you can hear that we are in the garage. It is super loud, we've got pumps going, we've got filters running and all sorts, and it is crazy loud. Today we're going to be taking a look at this tank over here, and what I want to be talking to you about today is how I actually filter out the entire tank. So what we're going to be looking at is this canister filter down here, this overhead filter up here, and this, which will come in a bit. So let me talk to you first just about this aquarium. So what we're going to actually talk about today are three main pumps, which I showed you, and explain to you how the amount of filter media and the turnover rate, which is the amount of water being filtered per hour, helps to create a really clean tank. Okay, so the first one that we're going to talk about is the basic canister filter, which everyone is more or less going to be buying when you want to run a tank like this. So I have an all-pond solution 1400 EF, and a few videos ago I showed you how much media we could cram into that filter. So I'm going to put a card up top so you can go ahead and watch that. But basically, this filter claims that it runs 1,400 liters an hour, which is quite a lot of water. This tank only holds 700 liters an hour, which in effect means that this one filter can filter this tank twice over. In theory, this isn't correct, no. What actually determines how much water can be filtered is the amount of media that you put into the canister filter. We managed to cram 4.5 kilos worth of ceramic rings into this filter. That means that I can filter out 450 liters of water and actually clean it fully. So I can't actually filter this out. Even though per hour I can filter out 900 liters of water, this isn't gonna give you the best water quality. So what did I do? I went ahead and I installed another pump on the other end of the tank, and that pump is rated at 500 liters an hour, and that pumps up to an overhead filter that is full of ceramic rings from the FX4 that I never ended up using, and the FX4 held 3 kilos worth of media. So that's essentially another 300 liters worth of filter media. So that in total is 750 liters worth of filter media, and this is a 700 liter tank. So you would assume that I could actually filter out this whole tank with just those two, right? You'd be wrong. See, a tank like this has fish that get pretty big, and big fish leave big amounts of waste. And that means that you need to actually double up on the amount of filtration that you've got going on. So in theory, instead of having 750 liters worth of filtering capacity, I've only got half of that, which means that I need to find another way to filter this tank. So what did I do? You can see that there are some lava rock in here. That is about 20 kilos worth of lava rock. And lava rock is really good for housing bacteria, so this actually works really well to create a home for the bacteria that you want growing in your tanks that help to denitrify and pretty much convert ammonia into nitrite and nitrate. So here is another way that I am trying to filter out my tank, and as you can see behind, I've got air stones running to help keep the water circulating through, so the water will run over this and get filtered to an extent, but I'm actually not too sure how effective that is. Not only that, I've got another large filter running, and that is what I showed you before. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm working with. This is my final sort of attempt to filter out this tank. In here, in this barrel, is about 20 kilos worth of lava rock, which is excellent filter material. And the pump is running at 6,000 liters an hour. 3,000 liters an hour. So this alone would most likely be enough to filter out this tank. So you're all probably thinking, why do you need the other two filters that you have? Why don't you just use that big filter and, you know, you don't have to waste extra energy, you don't have to worry about setting all these up, and it'll probably look a lot cleaner. The thing is, that filter is really new. I only set this up last week, so it's still cycling to begin with. Secondly, I like having my filters ready to use on another tank as and when I need to. So this might not be, I'm pointing to the canister filter, this might not be the best at running this tank, but if I ever have another tank I need to set up, I know that I've got a filter that is ready that I can take off this system and not have to worry about this and automatically set up another tank. And the benefit is this is just helping to clean the water that bit extra. So I've got all of that set up to help keep this tank clean. But I do have another element that I wanted to add to this, and that is the actual air pumps at the back. What these do is they create a flow. So if the tank is running along here, the flow is kind of running like this. And what this does is it drags up any poo or uneaten food from the bottom, and it kind of sends it up to the top. And when it's suspended in the water like that, it can then be blown that way, because both of the return pipes from the canister filter and from the large filter blow water across. So what I'm helping to do is to remove any of the water, any of the waste that is actually built up on the bottom, which is why the bottom looks really clean for the most part. This is also a reason why I chose tiles, because it would actually tell me how dirty the bottom of the water, tank would be. And obviously, because you all know me so well by now, you all know just how much I love plants. Ugh, let's get up here. So you can see that I've got some pothos growing in here, and you can see the ceramic rings, and you see the pipe that's kind of pumping in the water. That's the overflow behind it. So all the water we pumped up run through these ceramic rings, hopefully getting denitrified and all that stuff. Anything that's left, the pothos will ideally be sucking up, so that when it overflows, the water is as clean and pristine as possible. Now, I'm not entirely sure how good pothos is at actually cleaning out the aquarium, so I can't give you any sort of mathematical or any value to explain how much it's actually contributing. But overall, not including these bits of lava rock in the tank, I've got, what, about 27.5 kilos worth of filter media. That is roughly 2,700 liters of water I could filter out, clean, and not have to worry about it on a normal community tank. However, this is going to be a monster tank with predator fish that eat very meaty foods that give off a lot of waste, and so it's better to cut that in half and say that, you know, I'm doing more like 1,350 liters worth of filtration, which is still great because it's almost double the amount of water in here. So this is already filtering, it has the capacity to filter out this water twice over. On top of that, my flow rate isn't exactly going to be the 3,000 plus the 500 plus the 1,400. You know, it's not 5,000 liters. Once you've actually put the filter into these buckets and these canister filters and everything, you actually reduce the amount of flow rate. And so you're actually working with more like 2,500 liters an hour. So this tank is being turned over 3 times an hour, and it's being filtered twice, like it's got a capacity to filter it twice over. Which means that the water stays really clear. I don't get any algae blooms or anything like that. I mean, I don't turn on the lights very often anyways. I only turn them on for like videos and feeding. I don't have to worry about missing a water change for that extra week, because I know that the filtering capacity is such that this entire tank is actually going to be filtered. In fact, I even talked about this, which holds another 400 grams of ceramic rings in here that I added in more for cover for the fish that weren't so comfortable in this big tank, but it's in here too. And yeah, look, the fish look really happy. What happens with clean water? Why is it so important? The water looks nice and clear. That's what we want, right? When we're looking into a tank, we want to see nice, clear water so we can see the fish better, and it just looks better for you. You don't have to worry, you don't have to stress or anything like that. Clean water in itself means that your fish are going to stay healthy and happy for longer. It's probably going to help their lifespan as well. You know, they're not going to get sick or die early unnecessarily, so you don't have to worry about any sort of grief. Again, it gives you this freedom to not have to worry about missing a water change accidentally. You know, it's still important to keep up with your water changes. I still do a 20% once a week on this. I test the water, and as long as the water is looking fine, I don't do anything further, because I know that this is overturning so much water in itself. I don't have to worry about it. Plus, with the plants at the top, I know that there is actually waste being extracted from the water system itself. So as the plant gets bigger, more rubbish is going to be taken out of the water, which means that my headache is going to be lessened. You know, you want to give these fish the best lives you can. You're evidently keeping them in a glass box, which limits the amount of, you know, space that they have. Everything is very engineered by us, and it's not natural. So what we have to do is we have to make it as good as possible for them. You know, these are other living things, and we get joy from watching them, so it's only right that we do right by them. Ideally, that would mean, you know, setting them free, but unfortunately I can't fly all the way to South America with fish in a bag. It's just not feasible. So this is the next best thing. But yeah, you know, that has been me talking for a long time, but I'm so enthralled with this tank. Before, and in fact, it's actually the inhabitants have gone up, so I've added in my silver dollars. They've been added in from the tank down there. Sevrum at the back has been added in, so we've got a bit more color coming in. We've got a bit more like of a community tank flow sort of style with a few big fish in here, which I think really looks great. We've got the bubble wall set up at the back. I want to get another one just to kind of sort out with that dead spot, but that's helping to keep the bottom of the aquarium clean. I don't siphon any of the, you know, the rubbish off the bottom. I kind of leave the siphon halfway through, and it just drains the water out. And so what's going to actually happen is this bubble wall is going to help keep the rubbish suspended, so when I am siphoning things out, hopefully some things will go in there. But when the water kind of comes up, it's going to be sucked in by that overflow at the top, or by that pump, or by that other intake. So there's quite a wide range for the water to be sucked in at. And the reason there's so much noise is because this filter is really strange. The water level drops and rises in here at a really weird fluctuation. And so the water level here is never constant. I think the highest it will go is here, but it'll drop to about there, and it'll go back up, and it'll drop, and it'll go back. It keeps on doing that, and I don't know exactly what is causing that. So at the moment, there's no water directly on top, but then it will fill back up again, and the water will be on top, and the rocks will be covered. It's kind of like a tide. It's really awesome, but it kind of stresses me out sometimes. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed taking a look at the tank nearing its final stages of being complete. There is some work still to be done. I do want to sort of remove this and set it up somewhere else, but you know, the only place I can do that is by drilling a hole through there, which my mom won't probably say yes to. So I got to find another way. I don't want to put it on top because it's quite heavy, and I'm worried about the glass lids, and there's no space on this side, so I need to see what I can do. But at the moment, I am really happy with the way this tank has turned out. I like the decorations. It might look a bit naff to some of you, but I'm pretty much somebody who considers functionality over aesthetics more. So I like how things work as opposed to how they look better. And so there we go. These are my fish. I will do a proper video where we can just sit down and watch them eat and everything, because that is absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I think you guys will really enjoy that when that happens. Anyways, like I said, I hope you guys are keeping safe. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out.